Hello, friends! Feelings of shame and confusion make for a completely normal first reaction when faced with failure. Everyone finds themselves in such situations from time to time, so it's important not to forget that life goes on, and this is just a minor event that will soon be forgotten or turn into a funny story. In today's video, you'll get to see some awkward situations and fails that got caught on camera. You don't always have to go to a ski resort to experience the beautiful snow. You can feel it anywhere. All you need is a creative approach and a good mood. The driver of the car transporter couldn't even imagine that he would have such a bad day. This isn't the way you'd want to wash your car, but what can you do if there's no other road? The absence of a partner couldn't but affect the work process. Who could have thought that the performance would end in failure because of a ridiculous mishap with a wig? An ordinary day in the Arctic looks something like this. That's what makes efficient use of wind energy possible here. Not all culinary experiments end up being successful, and some may even lead to rather unpleasant consequences. How else could one choose the perfect bed, right? Now, he definitely knows that this one wouldn't last long in his house. This construction crew was supposed to fix one problem, but instead, they made sure they have a lot more to fix. Not the best moment to open a beer. The man hardly managed to take even one sip, but the smell of his beard will remind him of this incident for a long time. This woman clearly knows how to have fun. I'm sure many young people would envy such energy and confidence. After seeing this, the baby's mom might find it hard to leave her child with the father. However, she did choose to film what was happening instead of rushing to intervene. There's no need to get angry with him. He's probably just meal prepping for the whole week. Moreover, now he's going to have another assignment that will keep him busy: cleanup. Walking on thin, melting ice ends the same way in most cases. Picturesque lagoons and lakes can sometimes be found among the raging greenery of the remote corners of our planet. The temptation to swim in the cool, clean water can be so great that it might be impossible to stop yourself. However, it's important to remember that you can encounter other travelers here, so swimming naked can be uncomfortable. She probably should have toned down her enthusiasm a bit. On the other hand, they will definitely remember this moment for a long time. This probably isn't the way this woman imagined her walks with the dog. Well, there's a flip side to everything. Sure, the modern fashion industry dictates its own rules. However, tattoos with the emblem of a famous brand are exclusively this man's own initiative. A very interesting idea. Were they trying to force people to make friends this way? This man can probably argue that the effectiveness of his cooking class was somewhat exaggerated in the ad. This girl had a quick reaction to the approaching wave. Unfortunately, that didn't really help her stay dry. After throwing their favorite toy in the pool, the dogs had to decide who would dive for it. Despite their initial indecision, the task was completed successfully. Although not as dangerous as a light bulb in the mouth, it's still very close in terms of the level of stupidity. Even the most peaceful group of friends always has someone who creates a commotion. The Principality of Monaco is known worldwide for its magnificent landscapes as well as for the lifestyle of its high society. Women wear the most luxurious, bold, and striking outfits for cultural and sporting events. Desperate times call for desperate measures. The main goal is to finish before the water temperature becomes unbearable. Some people think that if they can't succeed on their own, they have the right to take something away from others or damage someone else's property. But that's not the case, and this man will get what he deserves eventually. In some countries, elderly drivers are considered the norm, while in others, they are more likely to evoke surprise and boundless admiration. they definitely chose the wrong day and place for learning to ride a motorcycle. That's a rather strange pose, not only for a fountain, but also for a public place in general. The universe managed to give him a timely hint that it would be better to skip the workout today. The child chose to finish what they started before taking care of their personal needs. Geese can make for excellent guards. The problem is that these animals can be too responsible, and they won't just drive away the intruders. Why not design a convenient and practical means of transportation for yourself? Moreover, taking into account the presence of the helmet, the man clearly pays attention to all safety requirements. The drivers are probably wondering what all that paper is and if it's of any value. The moored boat definitely shouldn't have started moving on its own, and it certainly shouldn't have drifted away. Screaming is a completely normal reaction to overwhelming fear, but not when the water level is only a few dozen centimeters. This girl should refrain from partaking in any kind of water activities. Animals' unpredictability and uninhibited behavior can be a cause of entertainment even at a serious event. There is nothing shameful about falling, especially if you don't lose your composure and find a graceful way out of the situation. This man's reaction is truly unique, and that's despite him being on a work call at the time. At least this highlighter was used for its intended purpose and brought someone a lot of joy. Proposing turned out to be more difficult than he expected, but they will definitely remember this moment forever. The desire to please the client can be detrimental even in the workplace, which involves minimal risk of injury. While the wedding ceremony was meticulously planned, something still went wrong, as is often the case. There's probably a good reason for this makeover. What do you think about it? This little girl doesn't know anything about respecting the personal boundaries of others yet. It's fortunate that the dog loves her so much that it tolerates her antics. There's a good reason they advise not to put anything valuable, let alone fragile, into checked luggage. Sadly, this kind of thing can happen at almost any airport in the world. That's why his parents taught him to keep his things tidy and in their places. The snowboard had been waiting for its moment of glory for a long time, which is probably why it rushed for the slopes sooner than its owner did. He could have praised himself for a good hit, but it didn't seem as great when taking into account the broken window. I doubt that their neighbors would appreciate this idea. That doesn't look like the most secluded spot. This man certainly knows how to attract attention, but his desire to stay in shape definitely deserves praise. Perhaps the man decided that jumping into the neighbor's pool would be more exciting. This wonderful creature is charming, although a lot of people would be afraid to touch it. I wonder if this musician considered the possibility of such a dramatic ending to his performance. Was it part of his plan or just an unfortunate accident? This kid definitely found a way to entertain himself. One could certainly get angry at the sight of the apartment in such a condition, but it's important not to forget that the dog was very bored and lonely waiting for its owner. Instead of going down the mountain slopes, someone's in for an exciting adventure of searching for their lost snowboard. This ball fights back, clearly showing that it had no intention of participating in today's practice. One of the reasons why some city dwellers don't like skateboarders. Her outfit doesn't seem right for the photo shoot by the pool, let alone for swimming in it. The domino effect worked perfectly this time. Expensive and spectacular. You can feel very confident on the road until you find yourself in such a situation. Even pleasant surprises can be frightening when truly unexpected, especially when holding a baby in your arms. Even using 2 forklifts didn't help them avoid disaster. The man's suitcase fell victim to the escalator and gravity. That's why they often remind you to keep an eye on your personal belongings. The person who designed these stockings must have been under the influence when he did it. This woman doesn't need to take an IQ test. Her capabilities are way too obvious. Perhaps this man is trying to stimulate hair growth. Apparently, he still hopes to grow a full head of hair. I wonder if the truck driver is aware that his cargo has lost its commercial appearance and won't make it to its destination. It seems like someone trying very hard to securely hide the skeletons in their closet. This seagull won't need to hunt anymore. Now it can buy fresh fish with the money it stole. I'm sure his parents didn't realize that their kid had decided to hide his pet under his clothes. Maybe this mom isn't thrilled about what happened, but the little girl definitely looks like she enjoyed the experience. Can this escape be considered successful if there is no way they'll be able to reach the nearest body of water? A magical day at the beach turned into a terrible nightmare for the owner of this car. Turning on the headlights is unlikely to help him out of such a dire situation. She should have probably chosen a different way to dive into the water. Sadly, she didn't manage to make the dive, let alone a graceful one. The parents tried hard and chose a very striking Halloween costume for their daughter, but judging by the child's expression, it's hard to say that she's thrilled about it. Friends, that's all for today. Like the video, subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time.